Having fun.
And yeah,
This is ridiculous. This is blackmail. Oh boy. You sure send me one of those pictures.
3 p.m. parade, the 23rd annual reunion of the Greenville Farm Power of the Past. I am your announcer, Rick Brewer. I have some leg problems, so I'm sitting down. If you don't like it, too bad. So, we have a good parade lineup for you, and hope you enjoy it. Okay, first up, a 1939 Massey Harris, one of our feature tractors. This is a 101 Junior, owned by Jack McMillan of Talmadge, Ohio, and it just came off the dynamo over there. He had it on, and it made 24 horsepower. There you go. Thank you. You can applaud if you want to. Another one of our feature tractors, the 1950 Massey Harris 44. And this is owned by Wally Austin of Bradford, Ohio, driven by John Baker. Thanks to my good buddy John Baker for making this possible. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. Next up. Now, this is a 1978 County Ford. It's 1164, owned by Gail Long, Newburgh, Ohio. I believe the driver is Nelson Ashball. Ford made the part, but it was assembled in Switzerland. So that tractor's come a long way. Something special. It's right down there by the gate. Next up, another Massey Harris. This is a 1946 44 Standard. Owner is Dennis Binieri of Kenosha, Wisconsin, and driver is Lee Sackett. And it was restored in 2020 by Lee Sackett of Waltham, Minnesota. There's the restorer right there. Good job. The 1951 Ford 810, owned by Mike Landon from Woodington, Ohio. And it's a blue belly. It's a work in progress. Still working on it. Yeah, 1968 Ford 5200. Keith and Aaron Horst of Ansonia, Ohio. Ford 5200, only built for 2 years, 1967 and 1968. And this one was restored in 1996. Hi, you having fun? Oh yeah, he's waving. You need to wave that way. There you go. Next up, another Massey Harris, 1958. This is a 555, owned by the Slider family, Union City, Ohio, and driven by Mr. Jeff Slider. Mark Slider started collecting, and Jeff is going to show them all. Thank you. This is it's a Ford garden tractor. It's a Model 120, owned by Rachel Martin of Brookville, Ohio. We appreciate it. We usually feature the lawn garden tractors that are the same company. Well, we have Ford and we have Massey Ferguson. That's it. Massey Harris still making lawn garden tractors, so that's the way that goes. So thank you. Thanks for bringing it, Rachel. 1960 driven by Steve Struffbaugh. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Isn't that nice? That's nice. Great restoration. And thank you for bringing it here and bringing it through the parade. All right. 1941 John Deere B, owned by Mike Wright of Ansonia, Ohio. Mike and his family have been exhibiting tractors here at the Farm Power for over 20 years. Almost every year out of 23. And Mike's a good buddy, and he does a lot of things around here. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Now, Mike also owns this one. It is sometime from the 50s. It's a John Deere one-stand garden tractor. And it's driven by Jason Wright, who is Mike's son. Jason is riding with his son, Trevor. Trevor will be a fifth grader at Ansonia Elementary this fall. He loves sports and playing the piano. Good job. A 1950 John Deere A, owned by Mike Wright. Ansonia, Ohio, driven by Emily Wright, who's the granddaughter. Emily's a 2022 graduate of Ansonia and will be attending Edison this fall. Riding with her is brother Brady Wright. He will be a 7th grader at Ansonia School. He runs cross country and plays basketball. Great. Next up, a 1968 Poland Model 850, owned by Cody Bruner of Arcanum, Ohio. And the driver is Addison Bruner. And I believe that would be, what, some kind of a plow there on the back, right? Yeah. Oh, it's killer. 1963 John Deere 4010, David and Brenda Fritz. Excuse me, I apologize. David and Barbara Fritz of Greenville, Ohio, driven by Michael Fritz. 1974 John Deere 2030 with a loader on it. Bob Warner of Greenville, Ohio owns it. And that's grandson up there, Matthew Warner. He came a long way. 2003 John Deere X495 owned by Brian Wilson, Greenville, Ohio, driven by Zach Wilson, pulling a homemade John Deere wagon. Next up, a 1948 John Deere A, owned by the Hess family of Jacktown, Ohio, driven by Doug Hess. And thanks for bringing it. 1990, so John Deere made a deal with them and they began doing it. Now, if you see John Deere green, that's where it came from. It didn't come from anything else. It came from the Waterloo Boy, which is where this is. Now, when, you can't believe it, but there was industrial espionage going on in those days. And so the engineers at Waterloo Boy were creating a new tractor. And John Deere company was very lucky that when they found out about it. And it ended up being, they made 5 prototypes before they got it. And this ended up being prototype number 1. The bottom of it kind of looks like, they found it in the ground, and it ended up looking like a bathtub. That gentleman up there is Mr. Dan Thomas. He was from Plain City. I don't know where he's from now. He's from right here in Greenville. And he owns it. Believe me, there are many people who have worked on this. That technically then, they found out and figured it out, is the very first prototype of what became the John Deere D. And the John Deere D changed farming in the United States. So next year, we're going to celebrate the 100 years of John Deere D, and this then is the very first one because it's the first prototype. Mr. Dan Thomas, give him and his wife a big hand. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. That's pretty good from memory. He also has a 1919 Waterloo Boy over there that the steering is not rod, it is chain steering. All right, Harvey, thank you. Appreciate it, Harvey. 1941 John Deere B, Harvey Fritz of Greenville, Ohio. He's been here many years. All right, 1984. General, which is American General. It's an M816 owned by Daniel Sallard of Greenville, Ohio. He's up there driving. And we appreciate it's on display over there across from the announcer's stand. Big old military vehicle, isn't it? All right. Next up, a 1952 John Deere AR, owned by Bruce and Beth Fornskell of Eaton, Ohio, and driven by Robert Geyer. Is that right? Robert Geyer? Yeah, okay, thank you. He's doing a good job. Thanks, Bruce. Next up, a 1945 John Deere B, owned by Logan Brooks of Ansonia, Ohio. And he's got a helper up there. Oh, he's waving at everybody. Oh, good job. Give a big hand. Next up, a 1971 John Deere 4620, Derek Leach from Greenville, Ohio. Up there is Derek Leach and daughter Slut. And the original owner was Marvin Fox of Tip City, Ohio. Good. 1949 John Deere Breeze, Jack McGill of St. Paris, Ohio. Thank you, sir. A 1969 Case 930 Comfort King is called. Dale Fullenkamp, Greenville, Ohio. We still use this tractor today to spread manure and mow hay and ground bale. Next up, a truck. This is a mini Jeep owned by Rachel Martin of Brookville, Ohio, and that's Grandpa Darrell Wilson there. It's a 4/5 scale Jeep, plywood body. They were sold as kits and designed to float on the water. They were advertised in Popular Mechanics. And I remember seeing that advertised. I really do. All right, this is a cat. It's a 40-inch model at 435L, owned by Knox Wilson and Rachel Martin of Brookville, Ohio. Now, this was made in Italy. It's four-wheel steer. We'll do it in a minute. You can turn the seat around and drive either direction. Go ahead and do a hard turn. And you see all the wheels put in there. There you go. There you go. Do a hard turn. Do a hard turn. There you go. See? The back one's turned to the right and the front one's turned to the left. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it. What a special little tractor. We appreciate it. He's going to drive the rest of the way. 1955 International Harvester 300. Right there, Janet Long of New Paris, Ohio, and it's for Dad's tractor. And believe me, she's proud of that tractor, and she's proud to bring it through the parade. So she talked to me a while ago. 1968 Alice Chalmer B21 Series 2, owned by Gail Long of New Paris, Ohio. All right, 1954 Farmall Inn. Tom and Diane Winter, Bradford, Ohio. It's been in the family since 1954 when it was brand new. All right, thank you. Thanks for bringing it. Now, this is what you call in the work clothes, and we like that. Some people like that. Never been restored, exactly, never been painted. 1951 Kate L.A. Braden Renner of Pleasant Hill, Ohio. And believe me, you can still see the decals where it says Case and all that. Lots of people really like to see them that way and keep them that way. 1954 Farmall MTA. Don and Barbara Leach, Greenville, Ohio. Driven by Daryl and Belk Leach. Don's father Ralph bought this tractor new, and Belky is the fourth generation to drive the tractor. Hi. Yeah, she didn't listen. Okay. She's doing a great job. All right. This is the Rodeo Farm. Got David Oda up there. We got Clem and Sidney. Clem and Sidney. They are about 17.2 high. Each of them weighs about a ton, and that is one of their vehicles I had never seen before, but it's a street car. They're giving rides all over the ground, and they have all kinds of vehicles. Now, if you want to get married and be in a horse buggy, vis-a-vis, they can do it. And David also works on diesel and gas tractors and engines, okay? So a lot of stuff there. All right. Okay, this is a John Deere 1966 John Deere 2510, owned by Charles Calhoun of Parkinson, Indiana, and the driver is Doug Calhoun. Now, the reason why we're doing this, the Randolph County Antique Club came over. 14 of them drove, well, more than that started, but 14 of them got here. And they have their show next week on 27 north of Lynn and south of Winchester, and it starts on Thursday. And so this bunch is all from the Randolph County Antique Club. The 1951 International Harvester M, Larry Field, Farmland, Indiana, and it was restored in 2006. 1973 John Deere 4230, owned by Charles Calhoun, also of Parker City, Indiana. And, well, there's a couple of beautiful women having a fun time. Oh, my. There's just enough wind that they can do that, too. Look at that. I think they're aiming at you. You know that? You get some of that soap in your eye, you'll have to go run it down. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's the people wagon. Randolph County Antique Club. Riders are Beth Fields and Tommy Kinney. Next up, a 1948 John Deere A. Instead of being a road crop, the front end, wide front end is right there on it. Rick Sayer of Richville, Indiana. All right, 1953, Ford, NAA, Jubilee, Bob Gurley, Georgetown, Indiana. His dad bought the new in 53 or 4, been in the family the whole time. And those are, the 53 versions are very, very special. Okay, this is a 1954 Massey Harris 44 special owned by Brian and Matt Jennings of Farm Chester. Now that's Southern. Yeah, okay, Farmland in Winchester, okay. And that's Max driving up there. He's been associated with that club for a long time and also with the Portland Club. And that's the first time I ever seen Farm Chester. That was in his work clothes, and it's a Massey Harris, one of our features. Next is another Massey Harris. The 30, owned by Brian Jennings of Muncie, Indiana, driven by Gabriel Schott. Okay, it's Gabrielle. You know, you're supposed to put that on the sheet. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for driving it through. 1959 John Deere 730 on gas. A lot of them on diesel. This runs on gas. Pete Calhoun of Farmland, Indiana. Next up, the International 1950 Farm Hall in Preston, South Muncie, Indiana. 1954 Farm Hall Super MTA, Bob Castle, Parker City, Indiana. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. 1969 Oliver, 1950. The T stands for Turbo. 1950 is the Turbo Bill Henshaw of Farmland, Indiana. Thank you. Next, the 1957 Alex Chalmers D17. Brad Chroniker, Farmland, Indiana. 2 miles from the fairgrounds today, one of the spark plugs blew out. Guess it had too much power. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, good to see you, and thanks for coming over. That group that comes over from Winchester every year, they have a good time. And they drive over here. 1956, Massey Harris, one of our features. This is a Model 50, Brian and Carol Jennings of Farmland, Indiana. And that one is shiny. That one looks good. Oh, yeah. He's proud of that. Thank you. And this is a 1946 Dodge, 2-ton truck owned by Randolph County Antique Club from Winchester, Indiana, driven by Bud Harris. We appreciate Bud. And those guys, hey, let me tell you, and it's a good show next week, too. You want to head that way. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, in the grandstand. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed that. Everybody loves the parade for some reason. Even the people in the shade up there. Hey, thank you very much. We'll see you over on the other side. Thank you. The next big event, we're going to start threshing at 4 o'clock. Now, we're only going to thrace for 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're going to take the straw, and we put it on a piece of blue tarp